And we were down in the 151s on that occasion, a 151.2. Antonio taking pole in 2023 by only 59 thousandths of a second over a certain Glenn von Berlo, who was part of the championship this time last year.
Indeed, Antoine Decant goes second quickest. Still not down to the kind of times we're expected to see in this session. Adam Ali is working that task with 2 more purple sectors. But he's going to have to chase Gael Julien, who pops up with a 151.126. LM Sports number 15 car to the top of timing and scoring. It's black, carbon black and yellow liveried car with the keyline colours at the front of the car that indicate potentially that car is Michael Jensen-owned chassis. Manuel Espirito Santo, expect him to be right there as well. Is beginning to heat up nicely this session. Gael Julien leads the session, Adam Ali second. Guillaume Henrion, it was indeed in the Team Virage car, you're absolutely right. And he sits third at the moment. Oscar Tinho and Antoine Decant, all those 5 under 2 minutes at the moment, but there's a lot more to come.
Yeah.
Adam Ali goes back to the top, ahead of Gael Julien, 150.689. White Bricacek pops up now in third, and he's just half a second off the provisional pole time.
But Gael Julien, just 18 years old, having come from a single-seater background, started off in karting as so many do, and F4 in France and Spain, and then into the sort of exploded into the European Le Mans Series paddock last year with LM Sport, the team that he remains with. And Julien running in 4th position. Manuel Espirito Santo, who was grabbing the headlines in Barcelona only a few weeks ago. Car number 17 for the Portuguese racer. That's a Portuguese-Swiss driving lineup for the Swiss team, Cool Racing, who have so many cars around the paddock these days.
Gael Julien pops back, he's the first driver under 150, it's a 149.743 for the LM Sport man. Quarter of a second up on that time just set by Manuel Espirito Santo, but Gael Julien splits the difference, he's under a 10th back. It's Oscar Tinho, sorry, to the top with a 149.649, under a 10th, clear of Gael Julien. This is getting pretty close and heated.
Well, Oscar Tinho will be quite comfortable with a 94 thousandths of a second advantage because he only had 59 thousandths last season.
Barely trying.
It was, remember, it was a different time of year though as well, because we hadn't been to Imola, wasn't it, last year, or was it Monza? I forget now. We were supposed to be going to the Italian meeting as round 2. That didn't happen, and then we obviously didn't have a race for...
We had a long gap, didn't we?
We had a massively long gap till July when we finally came here to Le Castellet, because no ELMS race happens in June. Something else happens that time of the year, I understand.
I'll have to think about that one.
Begins with an L and an M, I think. 149.649 is the time to beat, though, for Oscar Tinho, and he marginally quicker. I've read the time out and completely forgotten it from last year.
Well, it's a 149.162 immediately now in response from Manuel Espirito Santo, but chasing that Oscar Tinho has got 2 purple sectors, so it looks like it's going to swing the other way by a similar margin. It's 0.457 of a second at the moment to Manuel Espirito Santo. What can Oscar Tinho do on the lap he's currently on, and what can Gael Julien do behind that, because they're all on similar kind of pace. Gael Julien goes to the top for the moment, he's 0.3 of a second up, but it still looks to me as if Oscar Tinho could take it, and that's Tinho off the circuit after completing the lap. No, that's
not
Oscar Tinho.
The 4 car was spinning, that was Wyatt Bricacek in the DKR car. We are massively quicker than the equivalent meeting last year, though. Now, we were in the 51s last year. We're now in the 48s, 48.8 for this fabulous talent, Oscar Tinho.
Lost a second in the final sector. He's had a moment.
OK, so we were talking about Bricacek's incident, but the Colombian clearly has been slowed as well for whatever reason. On 48.873 for Gael Julien now, and Tunio finding time on last year's effort, but still not to the sharp end. Half a second adrift of Gael Julien for RLRM Sport. Two Ligier's fastest so far. This is the 31 car of Antoine Duquin of Racing Spirit of Le Mans. 6th place so far. And 5 more minutes to go, so still plenty of chance for improvement.
Yeah, and he's right there in the window of performance on pole position target time. He is currently the 6th and final car within a second of that Gael Julien time, 1:48.873, cracking time again. But others even below that still improving and improving fast. Here comes Antoine Duquin. Oscar Tunio also on a quick lap. Duquin goes up to 3rd. 1:49.3, cracking lap there. What can Tunio do in response? He's up on provisional pole time in the final sector.
Yeah, just
but it's got a big lock up there. That may well have cost him just a moment or two.
Virage du Lac, Virage du Pont now, turn 14, the right-hander over the bridge and heading now towards the line. And as mentioned, he has got up to 3rd position now in the 149, so there's a whole bank of cars now in the low 149s, but nobody apart from Gael Julien has managed to break the 149 level, and that is the 17 Cool Racing car going straight on at turn 3, so that's Manuel Espirito Santo.
So that's 1 lap burned there for the 2nd place car at the moment in this order. Antoine Duquin is going very rapidly indeed. He's gone purple in sector 1. Espirito Santo burned this lap. He's going quickly, but it won't count this time along. It was, by the way, a further improvement from Gael Julien, 1:48.867, massively quicker than last year.
The Cool Racing lap for Manuel Espirito Santo has been instantly deleted because he was way off the track, and then you might have thought, well, he was not short-cutting a corner, but the problem is he was missing out the whole sequence of 3, 4 and 5, and your arrival then on the exit of 5 much higher than it would be had you stayed within the 2 white lines. Antoine Duquin currently 4th, but he's just done an absolute best through sector 1, lost a shade of time through the middle sector, but he may well improve nevertheless, trying to at least move from one side of the second row to the other. And can he do a bit more than that, waiting for his time to come through? Well, it is an improvement, but it won't change his starting position of 4th place. He's got a couple more laps to try and adapt that.
So 1/4 of a second the gap between Gael Julien and Manuel Espirito Santo, but Espirito Santo will need another lap to have a crack at that. Beyond that, Johnny, 7 or 8 of these drivers, it's still within their potential grasp.
Yeah.
It is tenths across the full lap between these guys. They've just got to nail the perfect one.
So confirmation as the 17 car crosses the line that lap is deleted. Gael Julien, so confident, resting on this 0.246 of a second advantage, has brought the 15 car into pit lane. So maybe he feels the tyres really are not going to give him any more performance, and the 15 car in provisional pole we're not going to see for the rest of the session.
Manuel Espirito Santo through the 2nd sector now. He's just a 10th down on the provisional pole time. What can he do in this tricky final sector? He's got a car ahead of him. I don't think it's close enough to trouble him on this lap. He just needs to find a 10th and a few hundredths, and pole position could be there. Gael Julien sits on pit lane. We've got a minute and a half left.
So Manuel Espirito, 2nd fastest. Antoine Duquin, 4th fastest. They are from the 2 Swiss squads of Cool and Racing Spirit of Le Mans. As now across the line, first of all, will come the number 17 car of Portuguese racer Espirito Santo.
Closes the gap, halves the gap. It's 0.124 of a second. Here comes Antoine Duquin. He's been very rapid in this 2nd half of the session. No improvement for him. He's 4 tenths off at the moment. Top 7 covered by under 9 tenths of a second here. 45 seconds remain in this session. Can anybody take the fight to Gael Julien? And I think the answer is, if anybody is, it's going to be this man.
Yes.
Because he's under a 10th. In fact, yeah, he's under a 10th off.
So it's been 2 blue times through the first 2 sectors. Now heading into Virage du Lac, the penultimate corner. Dupont is next, and that car is really right on the edge. It sort of moved, scraped its way across the asphalt, and now a waiting game because Julien Omrion has applied the throttle and waits to cross the line. He'll move positions up to 3rd place. Will go the Team Virage number 8.
Be pleased with that, but disappointed at the same time. He didn't take the checkered flag.
No, he didn't.
Can go around again one more time.
Yeah.
Checkered flag is now out. First to see it, Adam Ali. Start the session promised so much, but he'll do no better than 8th. He's the first driver a second off the pole time. Mike Brickercheck and then the number 4 DKR car had that spin. Currently sits 7th. He's on a good lap here, you know. There's potential here to improve. Can he? Doesn't.
1:49.665. Well, that was a better time, but stays in 7th position.
Yeah,
hasn't pitted, has he, after the spin either? So hasn't taken new tyres because tyres are so much at a premium, particularly in the LMP3 category.
This isn't done. Here's Oscar Tunyo. He's 4th in the order at the moment, but with consistently quick times across the 2 sectors, he's up on the pole time. Marginally, but he's up on the pole time.
Yeah. So can he carry that through all the way through the the final few sectors?
That would be some moment, wouldn't it?
So Tunyo has already ticked off a 32-second opening lap, 28.7. We're waiting for him to complete this to see whether he can rise up the order. Car 4 to, no, it's not going to be done. Car 12, I should say, across the line. The time was deleted anyway. And just seeing whether the time was an improvement. No, it wasn't, and it'll be deleted, but potentially 2. So 1:49.4, and now Julien Omrion crossing the line in 3rd. Did improve again, a 1:49.168, but he can't get into the 1:48. There are only 2 cars that have managed to get into the 1:48, and they are Manuel Espirito Santo, who will start from the front row, but even faster than that with a 1:48.867 is Gael Julien, the real talent with RLR M Sport this year. And car 15, fastest by just over a 1/10 of a second, back to Cool Racing's Manuel Espirito Santo, who had a pole in Barcelona. Team Virage's Julien Omrion was the last car to cross the line, 3/10 down, and then WTM by Rinaldi Racing in 4th place with car number 12, ahead of Antoine Ducin for Racing Spirit of Le Mans, Pedro Perino for Inter-Europol competition, and then DKR, Euro International Ultimate, and the second RLR M Sport car. But Julien Omrion certainly leaving it late to post his best effort, but in the end, not sure whether that was, I don't know, using again too much of the tyre, but bear in mind 16 individual tyres that you have to be using from free practice. There's no other category like this in ELMS where your tyre allocation has to stretch from the opening session of free practice 1 all the way through the race. But Gael Julien had a really good time, 1:48 it was, and we've now a chance to catch up with him. Here's Steph Wentworth.
I am joined by the pole sitter, as you can see, getting the congratulations all over. Gael Julien, driver of the number 15 RLR M Sport. Congratulations, a pole position for you. The smile, you can't stop smiling. It's just a great feeling, right?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling to get pole position here at my home race as well in France. So yeah, just a massive thank you to the team who worked so hard this week to get the car right. The lap was, could have gone any better, so I'm really happy with it. So yeah, fingers crossed for tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's a very tight and competitive field, but you came in a couple of laps early and just let everybody else finish off their laps, so confident in your own abilities.
Yeah, I mean, at that point I knew I'd done a really good lap, and the tyres were starting to fall off and everything, so we thought that, you know, might as well pit it and see what the others could do, but yeah, thankfully it was enough.
All right, what are your expectations for race day tomorrow?
I mean, we're all in. I mean, we're all in pole position. We know we have a good lineup. The car's really quick, so we're going all in. We're going for the win.
All right, best of luck. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's a joy to see young talent emerging through these development classes in international sports car racing. It's turning heads around the world, whether it be P3, P2, hypercar. It's all of a sudden somewhere where absolutely world-class talent is looking for a career move. I got good news, Johnny. Do you like V8 engines?
I don't know whether I've mentioned this before, Graham, but I like V8 engines.
Do you